Hey guys, it's Scotty with Trek Pro City. Welcome to my office in Victoria, BC. Today we're talking about races, maybe not so necessarily races, but events that you can participate in on Vancouver Island and throughout British Columbia. All sorts of different genres, racing and riding opportunities are endless in our area, which is why there's so many great cyclists and great opportunities. So number one we're going to talk about is the Tour de Victoria. We are a major sponsor of the 100-kilometer route. This is a ride for everyone, so don't really think of it as a race unless you are one of those racer guys. You can hit up the 160K and suffer for 4+ hours over the hills as fast as you can. However, there are opportunities for everyone, whether it's a kid's ride on your run bike when you're 3-4 years old. You could ride 15 kilometers along the waterfront on your e-bike with your grandma or your mom or who knows, anybody. 30-kilometer Spinnakers loop, nice, beautiful waterfront ride. Synergy's doing a 45, Nordic Fencing, our good boy Jeff Polinatti sponsor in the 60. Of course, the Trek store and many of our staff are going to be rocking the 100K. A little extra challenge there, climbing over Mun Hill. That's a good one to push yourself towards. If you can ride 75K on your own, you can ride 100K for the Tour de Victoria. With all the excitement and extra riders, you'll be able to make it the distance. All the great feed stations that we help sponsor and stock, as well as our mechanics are going to be on course, making sure if you have any issues, we're going to help you out. Outweigh, we're going to be selling lots of Outweigh socks here down in the shop for package pickup. Those guys are sponsoring the 140, and Factor Bikes is doing the 160 for all those serious hardcore riders that want to suffer all day long. Hit up the Tour de Victoria website. It is less than a month away. Registration this year is already fantastic, and we want to see lots of riders out. Of course, this is 2023, but this ride happens every year and has done so for well over 10 years. So if you can't make it this year, put it on your calendar for next year. So get on the website, get the info, even if you're going to ride 15K. It's all based in beautiful downtown Victoria at the legislature buildings. There's a beer garden afterwards. Good times. We'll see you there. Riding opportunity number 2 coming up. One of my favorite series on Vancouver Island for your cyclocross enthusiasts, or maybe you're like a gravel rider and you've never really done a race. This is a cool way to get into a little bit of racing. Cross on the Rock. Cyclocross racing is a silly sport where we kind of ride road bikes / mountain-ish bikes, gravel bikes around a loop for 45 minutes or an hour, and it hurts a lot, but for some reason you want to come back and do it over and over and over again. Great community of riders, tons of people show up to Cross on the Rock races. These races start in September and run through October and November, and usually get kind of muddy and fun near the end of the series. Lots of races up and down the island from Victoria through to Nanaimo and Cumberland. Lots of venues, great people, and a great series to get involved in. One of the great things about Cross on the Rock is if you're a more competitive rider racer, it's a great training ground for higher level races like the BC Provincial Cyclocross, as well as the National Series and the National Championships, which we had in Victoria last year, 2022, at Leyritz Park, and it is going to be back again in 2023 at Leyritz. So great way to get yourself primed for national racing level. So check out crossontherock.com. So crossontherock.com. Once they get up the new schedule, you'll probably see a 2023 newsletter coming out pretty soon. Just finalizing a few dates. Look at how many years of results, and there's all sorts of really cool stats. That's one of the coolest things about this. It's like they've got silly stats, if my computer would actually load. Most wins, most second places, podiums, all sorts of silly things. I think the only thing I'm on there for is most time on course right there. I've raced 3 days, 1 hour and 7 minutes. Pretty high up. A stupid amount of torture. The schedule for this year is not up yet, but this runs every year and has been doing so for almost 20 years, I think. Cross on the Rock, check it out. Hey guys, riding and racing opportunity number 3 on Vancouver Island is the Island Cup Race Series. This is kind of my baby, my part-time job on the side when I'm not here at the bike shop. So Island Cup Series, we've got cross-country events, enduro events. Next race, 60 days, Forbidden Enduro. Some awesome sponsors, community-oriented people that want to help support the series. And all of these races are run by clubs and bike shops up and down the island that are passionate about racing and want to promote riding and racing on the island. Good people here. Check out the Island Cup Series race website for all the details. It is a series of cross-country races, usually 6 races in the spring, starting in March, usually in Victoria, throughout the island, all the way up to Campbell River this year. We had 6 events. Lots of people show up, different ability levels, beginner, intermediate, and expert, depending on how long you want to spend on the course. Grassroots racing, it's not super competitive, great community of riders. And the other genre that we do for Island Cup Race Series is enduro racing. So enduro is incredibly popular right now. All of these races sell out in minutes. So if you do want to get on board one of the Island Cup enduro races, get on the website, get the info, and get signed up. Our next event is September 17th. Trail Bicycles up in Courtenay is putting on the Forbidden Enduro. This one hasn't been on the calendar for a while. It's going to be an awesome race. It's going to sell out quickly, so make sure to stay tuned on the Island Cup website for details on that race coming soon. All right, riding and racing opportunity number 4 is Victoria Cycling League. So this is in Victoria. This is road racing and time trialing. Honestly, I don't know a lot about this stuff because I don't do it myself, but I know that there's a passionate group of guys that put these races on, usually weekend races. They do some crits as well as some Tuesday night, I believe, time trialing out in Sydney. There's some hill climb events. So this is a great way to test yourself against the clock or racing with some competitive guys. I know they do like A, B, and C races for different ability levels and different speeds. Some great clubs like Broad Street, the Wheelers, Russes, Triple Shot that are all involved in this series. And it's a great way to get out, test your ability levels, maybe torture yourself a little bit. We got some highlights on some of the races that have passed, results, a little bit of information on the races here. Oh, looks like there's a race in, August Windsor. That was a big one. The crit and all the details. If you want to volunteer and you're not a racer, check out the volunteering tab. I'm sure it's a volunteer-run organization and they always need help. Schedule is going to take you to the calendar. So it looks like there's still a couple opportunities in July. There's a North Saanich race on the 26th, which is next Wednesday. And it looks like a Strava competition on the 30th for the Observatory Hill Climb. So check out the Victoria Cycling League on the internet, and you'll find all the details there if you want to get into some road racing. Hey guys, riding and racing opportunity number 5, gravel. I think this is a whole category that is growing incredibly quickly. People love gravel fondos because everybody's buying a gravel bike, and they're a great event for someone that is either maybe doesn't want to race, but just wants to challenge themselves, kind of like a marathon, I guess you could call it. Or the racer that wants to really test their abilities in a category that isn't really defined yet. You don't really know what's the right tire, what's the course going to be like. There's a lot of variation. Nevertheless, you're going to challenge yourself, and that's kind of what it's all about. So one event that's coming up pretty soon, September 24th, 23, is the Burnt Bridge Gravel Fondo. This is up in the Cowichan Valley. Beautiful scenery, lots of mixed terrain. You're probably going to ride some pavements, lots of gravel paths, and probably some epic fire roads. And of course, they're always going to throw some single track in there just to challenge you as well. Looks like A lot of opportunities for different courses. They've got the Behemoth at 120. They got a 77K Brute and the 35K Brat. So kind of different distances to challenge everybody. So check out burntbridgeclassic.com for the info on this event coming up in a couple months. So gravel racing on Vancouver Island is getting more and more popular, and there are a lot of opportunities throughout the year. You've got to kind of do a little searching to figure out where the events are that you want to find, but we've got a few links here. You want to check out the Mid-Island Velo Association, MIVA, based in the Nanaimo area. They do several different gravel unpaved events, as they call them. One of the big ones this year that people really liked was up in Cumberland Forbidden area called the Forbidden Gravel Experience, riding mecca of the island. Beautiful scenery, as you can see. A very challenging course from what I heard. I believe this was about a month ago, so right around the July mark, early July, late June. Expect another one of those for 2024. The Burnt Bridge Classic, which we've talked about in another video. This is in Cowichan Valley as well. So same kind of trails that are being raced as part of the Belgian Waffle Ride. That's September 2023. And the biggest one of all is the Belgian Waffle Ride. If you want to travel, you can go to some of the crazy races all up and down North America. Some of the fastest gravel racers in the world are participating in these events, from Arizona, California, Canada. Vancouver Island came in May in 2023, and it'll be back for 2024. This is probably one of the biggest series in North America, and it came to the Cowichan Valley this spring or early summer. And I believe it's coming back for 2024. So if you want to do a really big event, lots of different riding opportunities for gravel racing and participation fondos on Vancouver Island. All right, guys, another awesome riding opportunity. This one's in Victoria, is the Triple Shot Cross Fondo. Happens every year in Victoria. Again, Triple Shot is a cycling club based out of Victoria that is really great for getting people into riding, whether it's road or gravel or cyclocross. They have a huge youth program, and this event is a great fundraiser for the youth program, helping kids develop as racers and riders. What is the Triple Shot Cross Fondo? It's kind of a cyclocross event, kind of a gravel event, kind of technical riding, but it's a mass participation. They get hundreds of people out, whether it's 25-ish or 45-ish kilometers. The distances aren't huge, but it's still a big challenge. Usually happens in the fall, October 15th for 2023. This is the Triple Shot Cross Fondo website. They got great videos. They get these guys filming with drones and stuff. Again, it's for the youth team. It's a great fundraiser. Lots of great volunteers. A nice day on the bike. They go through some of the mountain bike parks, through the highlands, lots of climbing, some great prizes. If you don't want to ride, maybe check out the volunteer opportunities. It's all volunteer run, and the money goes towards the youth team. Check out the tripleshotcrossfondo.ca website. These guys do an amazing job of putting a big grin on your face. So riding opportunity number 6 is the BC Bike Race. This is on a lot of people's bucket lists, whether you're from Sweden and you want to ride the best trails in the world on Vancouver Island, or you're a Vancouver Island local and you just want to challenge yourself with a lot of cool trails. Get on your bike and ride for 4 hours a day for 7 days in a row. The best trails that Vancouver Island has to offer. So yeah, this is a bucket list race for a lot of people. Vancouver Island, July 1st to 7th, 2024. You can register now. You probably should, and that way you're going to commit to it. Some people race it. Most people are there just for the challenge and just finishing. You can do it as a team. So find a buddy and do it together. You can do it solo. Your tent is set up for you every day when you get back. There's going to be lots of good food. The beer is going to taste awesome after you sweat it out on the awesome trails. Check out the BC Bike Race website. Sign yourself up and start training. The more training you do, the more fun you'll have. Okay, so our YouTube video is full of details on races and events throughout British Columbia and especially Vancouver Island. The governing body for racing in BC is Cycling BC. This organization is where you want to go to get your membership so that you have a license to race a lot of the events that we have talked about, but also at the higher level of racing if you want to challenge yourself and see how you can do against some of the other people in the province. The BC Provincial Championships, whether it's road championships, time trial, cross-country, mountain bike, BMX, cyclocross, or downhill. These events are listed on the BC cyclingbc.net website. So Cycling BC website, this is the homepage where it highlights a lot of the stuff that they do, including some of the higher level Canada Cup races, as well as BC Cup races. Membership is where most people are going to end up. So the membership page is going to get you to your Cycling BC licenses if you want to race cyclocross or a lot of the Island Cup events. You're going to need a membership, so this is where you want to go to get your membership and license. And also the events calendar shows a lot of what we've talked about over our other YouTube videos, from road racing in Vancouver to all sorts. Look at all the events in July. Like next weekend, we've got about 10 different opportunities for racing. So this is a great place to reference for all sorts of different events throughout British Columbia. Even if you're a member of a club and you need a license to be that club member and do group rides, Cycling BC is going to be where you're going to find that information.